In section 3.8, we're going to look at lots of different types of story problems. So let's start with just some general strategies you can use that'll help you be successful in answering story problems. So the first is something that seems really obvious, but it's actually important to put in the list here, and that is determine what information is being requested. So a lot of people will stare at a story problem for a long time, just kind of feeling lost and not knowing where to start. But you should always start in the same place. Figure out what is being asked of you, right? What question is being asked? And a lot of times just simply identifying that helps get things going and kind of gets you unstuck from that place where you don't know how to start. Number 2 is assign a variable to the unknown quantity being asked for. So once you figure out what's being asked for, give it a variable. And then if there happens to be more than one unknown quantity that you're supposed to find, describe them all in terms of just a single variable. Okay, and we won't see that in the example below, but we'll see that in some later examples. Translate the story into an equation using the variable from step 2. Solve the equation. And then number 5 also seems really obvious, but it's worth noting. Answer the question being asked. Okay, so what I mean by that is sometimes you'll be asked for more than one thing, but it's easy after you go through the long process of figuring out how to set up the problem and then solving the equation, it might be easy to forget that they were actually asking you for 2 things. So go back, reread the problem, make sure you're answering the entire question that was asked. And then finally, check your work to verify that the information found is correct. So, the best thing is if you can actually plug the number back into, like, say, an original equation, make sure your algebra is correct, and go back over how you set up the problem, make sure that's correct. But a quick way to check that you're on the right track and that you've done the correct thing is to just check your answer for reasonableness. Okay, so if you're trying to figure out how tall somebody is and you get 20 feet as an answer, then you probably did something wrong because nobody's 20 feet tall. So at the very least, check to make sure your answer is reasonable for the given situation. All right, so this example here says the difference of 2 times a number and 8 is 14. Find the number. Okay, so whenever you're given a word problem like this, first of all, step number 1 in this case is real easy. We're supposed to find the number, so we'll call the number x. Okay, that's no problem. Now looking at this, in our process of trying to translate this thing, let's look for some key words. Remember that is pretty much always means equals. Okay, and what I would suggest always is the first thing to start with is find your equal sign and then kind of divide the problem in 2. Translate what's on the left of the equal sign and then translate what's on the right of the equal sign. So I'm just going to pay attention at first here to the difference of 2 times a number and 8. So we're just going to look at that piece. Okay. First of all, I know that a number should be x, right? Because I determined that over here. Okay, and of course I can put the number 8 and the number 2 in here. Okay, so the difference of, that means I'm going to have subtraction. What am I taking the difference of? 2 times a number, so that would be 2x and 8. And then of course on the other side, that's real easy to translate, 14. So I'll add 8 to both sides, and we'll get 2x equals 14 plus 8 is 22. And then, of course, I can divide by 2 and get x equals 11. Okay, so does it make sense that our number is 11? Well, the difference of 2 times 11 and 8. So 2 times 11 is 22, minus 8 is 14. And that's exactly what it says it should be.